following is a presentation of the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. Live from Mellow Mushroom in the Cornerstone District in Lynchburg, Virginia, the Liberty Flames football show is on the air. Your chance to hear from Liberty head football coach Jamey Chadwell comes your way on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. The Liberty football show is presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Start banking with Freedom First today. The Liberty Football Show is also brought to you by Carter Bank and Trust, the preferred community bank of Liberty Flames athletics. Earthright Mid-Atlantic, your trusted solar and energy efficiency experts. By Foster Fuels, providing reliable service for 100 years. Freedom Heating and Air, serving those who serve us. Carl Miller Realty, caring, competent, trusted advisors. The North American Mission Board, learn to live your life on mission through a GenSend experience. And by Sentry Exteriors, experience and quality you can trust. Schedule a free estimate at sentryexteriors.com. Have a question or comment for one of our guests? Email lfsn@liberty.edu or post a message at LFSN Radio on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Snap to Bennett, drops back in the pocket, looking to throw. Dancing at the 10, throws near side. It's going to be caught on the near sideline. Fight him up. Touchdown, Liberty. The tight end, Austin Henderson.
Now, let's talk Liberty Flames football. Here's your host, the voice of the Flames, Alan York.
And a good Thursday night, everybody. Welcome inside Mellow Mushroom for tonight's Liberty Flames football show with head coach Jamey Chadwell. My name is Alan York. We're talking Liberty football for the next hour as the Flames come in 1-0 after their opening season win over Bowling Green last week, 34-24. Back at home Saturday, 6 o'clock kickoff with the Aggies of New Mexico State. They are 1-1. Had an opening season loss to UMass 41-30 back in week 0. And last week they were at home against Western Illinois, and they beat Western Illinois 58-21. Coming up, the 6th all-time meeting between Liberty and New Mexico State, with the Flames leading the series 3-2 outside of a loss last year to the Aggies in Lynchburg 49-14. For those in attendance here tonight, we're going to be giving away commemorative Conference USA coins. It's the first ever Conference USA game for Liberty and New Mexico State. 3,000 fans will get these coins on Saturday. 5 lucky fans will get one tonight if you come up and ask a question to Coach Chadwell. So think of your questions coming up here in a little bit, and we'll be giving away these coins. We have 5 to give out, so we need 5 lucky folks to come up and ask us a question for our show here tonight. Each and every show presented by our good friends at Freedom First Credit Union, so we appreciate their support of our show here this season. All right, let's bring in the head coach of the Flames, Jamey Chadwell. Jamey, how are you doing here today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good to have you back on the show.
Yeah.
Things are great, especially when you win. I tell you what, season opening win over Bowling Green. Tell us how you got it done last week.
Well, it was a lot closer than I wanted it to be, for sure. After the first 20-something minutes there, everything was looking good. But
yeah.
for us to come out with a win and to be able to overcome some of that adversity that we went through, whether we created it on our own or they created it, it was good to see our team respond. And so anytime you can win, one thing that we'll always do, we'll celebrate every win. I don't care what they look like. I don't care if it's by a lot or by a little. We'll celebrate every one of them. And it was good to get that out of the way. Probably the most nervous / anxious that I've been in a long time.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I like that feeling, but I had it. But it was good to be out there, and our fans, community, our student body. It was a tremendous atmosphere.
Tight game there in that third quarter. Bowling Green cut it to a 1-score game twice. Got a big field goal from Tegan Linderink at the end there to put it to a 10-point ball game. He had some big kicks. Just kind of start there with that last kick to put you up 10 with about 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, that was obviously a big deciding factor in the game. You get the ball back there. We're in the mode where we want to score a touchdown. You never want to try to kick a field goal just because obviously what happened.
Yeah. But
we also wanted them to use their timeouts as well. So you're playing that game and you're trying to score, but also, run the clock, and thought we had an opportunity to really get a first down. We didn't execute, so we decided to kick. And he'd kicked the ball really well, that whole point, even the one obviously that was blocked. It was a little low, but I thought he was driving the ball and kicking with confidence. So we sent him out there, and he knocked it through. And and I thought give him a lot of credit. Throughout this whole fall camp summer, there was a lot of battle, and
right.
We decided that we were going with him, and he responded in a good way.
Iron sharpens iron, and a lot of people may look at the quarterback, and yeah, that's what everybody wants to pay attention to, but special teams are a third of football, and that was a pretty hot competition during fall camp.
It was a big one, and and you have some guys returning like Nick and some guys battling for it, and one of the worst feelings you can have is going into a game going, oh, well, who knows what's going to happen, and maybe that was at the quarterback, but you definitely don't want to have it at your kicking game, and he came through and tremendous for us.
You spoke of the celebration a minute ago, Coach, and some of those celebration moments hit social media within like an hour after the game with Chad Scott, your strength coach, enjoying roasting a chicken, if you will, in the locker room, not literally, but figuratively, folks. You can check out the social media posts on that.
Figuratively.
Yes.
Don't take that for
but President Costin was in there, Chancellor Falwell, and really cool opportunity for you to introduce your team to them and enjoy the win at the same time. That was a really cool moment for you.
It was. Obviously, you have our president and chancellor, and that's their first game, ever at Liberty as president and chancellor, and so you want to give them the opportunity to be a part of that. They're the reason why we have the things that we have, and are obviously great supporters of us, and for them to be in there and their wives to be in there to see a team that's joyous after putting a lot of hard work in, and to be able to celebrate a victory. There's a lot that goes into trying to win a game, and it's so hard to win a game, and that's why we never take those for granted. We want to celebrate that and to be able to give them a game ball and to be able to let them have a remembrance of that. I think it was a special time, and then I think for them and their wives to see what a locker room is like after a game. It's an awesome. That locker room is a sacred thing for those players, and to be able to enjoy that celebration. And Coach Scott and our people do a great job of celebrations, and we had chicken tenders passing those out, and it was a good time all around.
And one of the last videos that was put out Saturday night was a chant of you breaking it down with your team. I think I watched that video maybe 50 times since Saturday, and it mentioned strike the stone and winning, and you can't underestimate having fun in wins. And some people will say, how do you spell fun? And it's W-I-N.
That's right.
And that was just really cool. And I encourage our fans to go watch it if you haven't seen it. But it was an early kick at noon. How did you spend the rest of the afternoon once the game was over for you?
Yeah, well, I'll go back. So we come up with a victory song. Everybody's got a fight song,
right?
And so we've had a tradition of coming up with a victory song at all the different places that we've been, and we try to take some of the fight song. Usually the fight songs are so long nobody can remember it. We're football players, right? So nobody can remember it. So we'll do a little bit of the fight song, and then we create a victory song. So
yeah,
I would encourage that. But after the game, I actually had a lot of family members that came up. My wife's side of the family, my whole family came up. My mom's sisters came up, and had some cousins, had a lot of different people. My brother didn't make it because he coaches high school ball, but we came up, and they came over to the house. We had some food and watched some games, and just talked a lot about it. It was great to have a win, because I would have been miserable to be around if it was the other way, and enjoyed some time with them and family, and just enjoying the beauty here of Lynchburg.
Before we take our first break, Coach, first take at New Mexico State, 1-1 coming in. They went to a bowl game last year, and they've got some momentum under Jerry Kill, and it seems like he is doing a great job there.
He has. If you look at his history, he's won everywhere he's been. He's won at a high level. I'm not surprised that they are winning. They play hard. They play physical. They have confidence, and they've got a really good, obviously, a quarterback, and they're doing a real job scoring the football, and they get after you defensively. And I told our guys, it no matter, we didn't have a lot of players that are still here from last year, but this is still a lot of the same team came here and whipped our tail. And so, we got to be ready to go.
And again, that is a 6 o'clock kickoff. Our pregame show comes your way at 4:30 on the radio. I encourage all the fans out with your game ticket to stop by the indoor practice facility and enjoy the walk. We talked about the walk at the show last week. How was the first one last week for you and your team?
It was awesome. It was tremendous. Having that type of support in there, and then you're walking through, and as you're getting ready to go to your locker room, and game time's coming, to have that type of support, and have those people behind you, it was a special time.
Joined by head coach Jamey Chadwell here for our radio show presented by Freedom First Credit Union. We are at Mellow Mushroom in Lynchburg. So if you're tuning in tonight, we'll be here till 8 o'clock. Taking some questions from the audience. Again, we got 5 commemorative Conference USA inaugural coins to give out tonight. And if anybody wants to get the microphone warmed up here in segment 2, come on up. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and we'll come back for our second segment with head coach Jamey Chadwell. This is the Liberty Football Show with head coach Jamey Chadwell, presented by Freedom First Credit Union on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
What's important isn't that Freedom First has been in business since 1956. What's important is how we've been doing business since 1956. Since day one, we have been accountable to our members, not stockholders. We make loans that cost less, offer savings plans that pay more, and give back to our community, and that hasn't changed. What has changed is our ability to serve you with more locations and more technology to simplify your financial life. Freedom First. It's a place where anyone in our region can bank for good.
Everybody says they want to do it, but how many people ever really change the world? GenSend shows students just like you how to live life on mission. GenSend offers real-life ministry opportunities in cities all across North America. Work alongside believers who are really changing the world. Spend your school break on mission and learn how to be a champion for Christ. Go to gensend.org to learn more.
You're listening to the Liberty Flames Football Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
Turn up the heat. Foster Fuels is a proud partner of Liberty Athletics. Fostering warm moments for 100 years, Foster has been providing exceptional propane and gas services throughout Central Virginia and surrounding areas. From propane to fireplaces and tank installs to tankless water heaters, Foster does it all. Visit fosterfuels.com or download the app to order fuel, pay your bill, and more. Get the customer service you deserve and turn up the heat with Foster Fuels in the Liberty Flames.
Earthright Mid-Atlantic, your trusted solar and energy efficiency experts. With a focus on honesty, education, and excellence, they light the way to savings, home comfort, and a greener future. Educating homeowners about the power of solar and energy efficiency is their winning game plan. Give Earthright Mid-Atlantic a call today at 434-200-9716 or visit erepower.com.
Welcome back to the Liberty Flames Football Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. Have a question or comment for one of our guests? Email lfsn@liberty.edu or post a message at LFSN Radio on X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, once again, here's the voice of the Flames, Alan York.
And tonight we're back inside Mellow Mushroom in Lynchburg for our Liberty Football Show with head coach Jamey Chadwell. My name is Alan York. And we are having some issues with our speaker here. We'll get to it in just a minute. But, Coach, we're going to go to our fans here. We're giving away some commemorative coins for Conference USA. And first 3,000 fans will get one of those through the gates on Saturday. And we're going to have 5 to give away here today. And as we do that here, we're going to have Gracie on with us here tonight. Gracie, how are you doing tonight?
Good.
Good. What's your question for Coach?
Who comes up with the locker room celebrations?
Oh, there we go.
That's a great question, Gracie. I appreciate that. So each week, our coaches, our position coaches, they get to pick what we're playing for that week, the championship, and they come up with our strength coaches for the celebration. And so this week, Coach Leducko, our tight ends coach, he is responsible for the locker room celebration. We rotate every week.
All right, Gracie, thank you for the question here tonight. Give Gracie a round of applause.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Absolutely. So Coach Leducko has the celebration here. Has he tipped you off on what that might be?
No, I don't ask. That way I can have plausible deniability.
There you go.
In case it goes bad. So, I let those guys run with it, and they come up with something pretty good typically.
Well, how about the uniform combination? It's blue, red, blue here today. Who usually comes up with that?
You know what? I actually let the captain select that. So every Monday we have a captain's meeting. We go over the game, go over things that we're going through, struggling with, things that need to improve, and then I ask them what they want to wear. That way the players have a say in it, and so they're the ones that determine that for us.
Joined by head coach Jamey Chadwell here tonight, talking Liberty Flames football. Let's go back to the Bowling Green game for a minute, Coach. You went out to a quick early lead in that game, went right down the field in the first possession of the game, and Billy Lucas scored to put you up 6-0. Extra point made it 7-0. Taking that opening kickoff all the way down and scoring on the first drive of the season. What was that like for you?
Well, it was one, that gives you confidence that your offensive staff did a great job planning and game planning for the game to be able to do that. Secondly, gets you off to a great start because the defense got to stop. We're able to score. You're up 7-0, and with the clock rules, we're all trying to learn the new ones as far as how fast it's going, and your possessions are very limited, and you have to maximize them. For us to be able to come out and have a great drive to start, it got the crowd behind you, got confidence in the team, and it was a great way to start. And I was actually even prouder of the second half because they came down and scored, but we were able to answer that, and so that was a great adjustments from our offensive staff as well.
Have you sensed any only game one for you guys, but with the clock not stopping on first down, how much of it was able to get through that, and did you see a big difference in that or not?
I don't know if I have an opinion either way yet, but it does seem like that it's that ball's getting placed quick, and that clock is going quicker, from that standpoint, and so I think there's some. I'm anxious or see how again it goes this week, but I do think they're spotting that ball fast and it's rolling pretty quick, and so I think it has sped up the game. I'm not saying I'm a fan of that by any means. But I do think it's even maximized your possessions even more.
Joined by head coach Jamey Chadwell. We're going to take a time out of our weekly radio show. We'll have more questions from the fans here at Mellow Mushroom. We have some more commemorative coins to give away that we're going to be giving out at the game on Saturday. Stay tuned. We'll have more of our weekly radio show coming up after this. This is Liberty Football from Van Wagner.
At Carter Bank & Trust, we believe in a life lived full of plans, promise, and continuous growth. It's why our checking and savings accounts make it easy for you to earn high interest on your balance, so your money grows faster, all backed with the digital banking tools you need, so there's nothing holding you back from living life to the fullest. Open your new Carter Bank checking or savings account online in minutes at cbtcares.org or visit your local branch. We are Carter Bank, the preferred community bank of Liberty Athletics, member FDIC.
Curious about the Central Virginia housing market? Carl Miller Realty are your caring, competent, trusted advisors for real estate sales in Central Virginia. With over 100 years of combined experience, they are committed to helping clients make informed housing decisions. For a winning game plan and to discover the value of your home, visit carlmillerrealty.com to make your next move a slam dunk.
You're listening to the Liberty Flames Football Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
Clearly, this summer is like so many in the past, really hot. Freedom Heating and Air wants to make sure your home is the cool and relaxing retreat it can be. Freedom Heating and Air offers same-day service appointments in and around Lynchburg, Rustburg, Amherst, and Smith Mountain Lake. And they'll work on your cooling issues even if you've never used them before. Is your air conditioning system aging? Is your cooling system just not getting the job done? See what the dedicated, experienced team at Freedom Heating and Air can do for you. Call them at 434-331-3690.
Century Exteriors offers exterior home renovations, including but not limited to gutters, roofing, siding, home additions, and much more. Century Exteriors makes the process seamless. Call 434-239-6722 for a free on-site estimate or visit centuryexteriors.com and Century Exteriors on Facebook and Instagram. Century Exteriors is a proud supporter of Liberty Flames Athletics.
Welcome back to the Liberty Flames Football Show presented by Freedom First Credit Union on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. Have a question or comment for one of our guests? Email lfsn@liberty.edu or post a message at LFSN Radio on X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, once again, here's the voice of the Flames, Alan York.
Back inside Mellow Mushroom here tonight, talking Liberty Flames football alongside head coach Jamey Chadwell. Each show presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Liberty 1-0 coming in this weekend. They'll be facing New Mexico State at 6 o'clock inside Williams Stadium. Our pregame radio coverage comes your way at 4:30. Coach, you gave away some players of the week this week, and those were posted on social media. And let's start with your players of the week. Elijah Hopkins had a tackle. Jerome Jolly had a couple of interceptions, and Jordan White played all 71 snaps as your center. How'd you come up with those players of the week?
You got me? Yeah. So what we do there, each and every week is we come together as a staff, offense, defense, special teams, and who made the most impact, and it's not necessarily all the time about, who had the most yards or this or that. It's who made the most impact and helped us play our best on the game. And Elijah was phenomenal on special teams. You saw the tackle, but he was tremendous in every phase that he played on. Obviously, Jolly tackling and the interceptions, was tremendous in the game that he played, really in his first action that he played. And then we thought Jordan played really well, led our team in knockdowns. We rushed for almost 250. Yeah. And, he was a big leader of that. And snaps were great. And he did a really nice job for us. And those three guys got voted by the team or by the coaching staff.
You also had Flames of the Week. Trey Lawling, and we'll start with him. Second straight week, the redshirt freshman from Appomattox has been a Flame of the Week. What is a Flame of the Week?
So, our show teams, when we're getting ready for our opponent, we have show teams or trade teams, and it's our guys that are redshirted or not quite ready to play. They're giving us the looks of the opposing team, and so we pick a special teams guy, we pick an offensive guy, we pick a defensive guy. We have mentions, guys that give good look, and then we have one on each phase that does a fantastic job, and then they do the Flames walk with us, and they're part of our game day with us. And he's been tremendous. Trey plays extremely hard. Practices hard. He loves to practice. He's put himself where in time as he continues to get stronger, continues to go, he can have a good role for on this team in some form or fashion because he plays hard, and I think he's got a chance down the line to do that.
Okay, so that's second straight week for Trey Lawling as a Flame of the Week. Caleb Botchway is a wide receiver from Switzerland.
Oh, yeah.
How about him?
We're trying to get him an NIL with Swiss Miss, so if anybody knows anybody, let us know. But, Caleb is the first ever young man from Switzerland to play FBS football. And so it's a great honor for him, and he doesn't take that lightly. He knows he's representing his country, and he's a guy that does have some talent there. He's got to continue to grow, but every week he's gotten better. He's getting more confident in himself, and he's been giving us really good looks.
We mentioned him, Caleb, from Switzerland. Where is the game of football now globally, and how does a guy like Caleb Botchway end up from Switzerland to here to Liberty?
Well, I think obviously with the NFL and the popularity it has, popularity of football across this country, and it's spread to Europe and Germany, and obviously NFL Europe was over here a little while, but NFL's playing in Germany, they're playing in Mexico. I mean, it's taken a hold where people have realized that football in the States, especially college football, gives you an opportunity to education, gives you an opportunity to continue to fulfill dreams or follow dreams. And so people want to come over here from those countries and play high school football because they know there's so many opportunities in college to go continue to get an education. And I think you're seeing more and more of that. We've got a young man from Germany on our team, so you're seeing more and more of people from overseas that are coming here to pursue that. And Caleb's living that dream out.
Most of those, I would imagine, you get huddle films, or have you ever been international to see a kid?
No, we've not. And from that standpoint, and that's obviously the challenging part. Now, a lot of them, like Caleb did some prep school work over here, came to a high school over here in the States, so that that was part of his. Some of them don't. Some of them you're watching video and they're playing in a German professional league, and he's a 19-year-old going against 30-year-olds, you know.
Right.
And so there's a lot of evaluation of that and different things, and that's how but huddle is a key to that.
Yeah. And our final flame of the week, Rick Weaver. Tell us about Rick.
Yeah, Rick. Rick's been a national champion wrestler for us, and joined the program in the spring and has done a really good job. Brings a great attitude every day, and actually did some offensive line, but he's a defensive lineman by trade, and has done a really nice job for us. And was injured got injured late in fall camp, and has came back here with a flourish and done a really nice job with the looks he's been giving us.
We're joined by head coach Jamey Chadwell. This is our Flames of the Week. Trey Lawling, Caleb Botchway, and Rick Weaver. All right, Coach, we're going to go back to the audience here, and Kathy, one of our best Liberty fans on the planet, has a question for you. Kathy, go ahead.
While we're talking about international students, how is the Haitian sensation doing, Kendi Charles? When did you get him back, and did we have any other injuries?
Good question. So, Kendi's, I wouldn't say week to week. I think he's day by day now, from that standpoint. And he's getting close to getting back, and we want him back. We want him back as quickly as possible. But our goal for him is we got to get him healthy. We don't want to bring him back and rush him back. And so when he comes back, we need him back healthy for the whole year. So he's getting better, and the injury was challenging for him because of the way he's never been injured, and so but he's done a good job as a captain leading through that. Right now from an injury standpoint, we had some people that had some nicks and knacks. I don't know if we're going to have anybody miss any playing time, unless something crazy happens tomorrow.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Absolutely.
When he got hurt, how quickly did you have to get somebody else? I know it's next man up mentality, but how quickly did you have to get the next person ready?
Well, you spend a lot of time in your preparation rotating guys through anyway, and so somebody like on our defensive line, those guys are playing 2-3 snaps, and the next group's in 2-3 snaps, and the next group's in. So you're out constantly trying to prepare people to play. And so fortunately we had some depth there. We're obviously missing him because he's a great player. He's an all-conference, all-American type player, so we need him back, but we do have some depth there. And so, it happened on a Monday. We knew all week he wasn't playing, so it happened on a Monday. And so those guys that the reps that he was not getting, then, that the guy that was maybe third team, now he bumps up to second team and he gets those extended reps and gives him a chance to contribute.
All right, that's Kathy, who's going to go home with one of our commemorative Conference USA coins. We have 3 more coins to give away if somebody wants to come up and ask a question for Coach Chadwell. And Kathy was talking about defense, Coach. 5 interceptions, and we're going to hear from Brylan Green coming up in our next segment. We'll let you get a bite of pizza or 2. And how about that? As we talked to some of the coaches during the week, all 5 opportunities for interceptions, you got them. And that definitely helped stem and move the needle in the right direction for you guys.
Yeah, and I think that's the big key to that is when you get your hands on the ball, you can't drop it. You can't almost have interceptions. You got to have them, and we did. And we obviously returned 1 for a touchdown. We got points. Got points off of 10, 17 points I think off the turnovers there.
Yeah.
And when you get 5 turnovers, obviously the game shouldn't have been as close. But we had our own mistakes, right? So, but I think we have a very athletic secondary, and if they can continue to be ball hawks like that, and our linebackers, obviously Jolly had 2 of those. If we can continue to be ball hawks like that, they can give you a chance every week.
You mentioned to the media earlier this week about wanting to rotate the defensive line a little bit more than maybe what you did in Game 1 to Game 2. What other things from Game 1 to Game 2 do you want to see kind of cleaned up for your team?
Well, I think getting more people in earlier and trusting them and trusting their preparation is a key because, it's impossible to go through a season and everybody stay healthy without some type of rotation. I think that's one. And then I think, too, we played hard, but we lost our details. And what I mean by that is you have to play hard, you have to play with extreme effort, but you have to play within the confines of what the system is. And when we gave up big plays or we gave up, didn't execute offensive, whatever it may be, it's because we were trying to do too much instead of doing our job, basic fundamentals. The ball's on the ground because we're not doing what we're coached to do. We're carrying the ball low instead of chinning it, and then they give up big run plays because we don't have somebody on the dive in the court, whatever it may be. And it wasn't because they weren't playing hard. It was because they're just not playing with the details necessary to win at a high level. Mm-hmm. And that can cost you as you play better teams. And Bowling Green's a good team. New Mexico State's a better team. And it's going to continue to get like that. And so those are the things that we really talked to our team about is we have the attitude, we have the effort. The details have to follow.
We're talking Liberty football here tonight with head coach Jamey Chadwell. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Brylan Green, kind of a tease for the pregame radio show on Saturday. Y'all here listening to it tonight will get to listen to Nick Pierce, who's right behind Kathy Hudson right now. And Brylan Green, when we come back, as our Liberty football show with head coach Jamey Chadwell continues after this timeout.
Bank and Trust, we believe in a life lived full of plans, promise, and continuous growth. It's why our checking and savings accounts make it easy for you to earn high interest on your balance, so your money grows faster, all backed with the digital banking tools you need, so there's nothing holding you back from living life to the fullest. Open your new Carter Bank checking or savings account online in minutes at cbtcares.org or visit your local branch. We are Carter Bank, the preferred community bank of Liberty Athletics, member FDIC.
Curious about the Central Virginia housing market? Carl Miller Realty are your caring, competent, trusted advisors for real estate sales in Central Virginia. With over 100 years of combined experience, they are committed to helping clients make informed housing decisions. For a winning game plan and to discover the value of your home, visit carlmillerrealty.com to make your next move a slam dunk.
You're listening to the Liberty Flames football show presented by Freedom First Credit Union on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
Clearly, this summer is like so many in the past, really hot. Freedom Heating and Air wants to make sure your home is the cool and relaxing retreat it can be. Freedom Heating and Air offers same-day service appointments in and around Lynchburg, Rustburg, Amherst, and Smith Mountain Lake. And they'll work on your cooling issues even if you've never used them before. Is your air conditioning system aging? Is your cooling system just not getting the job done? See what the dedicated, experienced team at Freedom Heating and Air can do for you. Call them at 434-331-3690.
Century Exteriors offers exterior home renovations including but not limited to gutters, roofing, siding, home additions, and much more. Century Exteriors makes the process seamless. Call 434-239-6722 for a free on-site estimate or visit centuryexteriors.com and Century Exteriors on Facebook and Instagram. Century Exteriors is a proud supporter of Liberty Flames Athletics.
Welcome back to the Liberty Flames football show presented by Freedom First Credit Union on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. Have a question or comment for one of our guests? Email lfsn@liberty.edu or post a message at LFSN Radio on X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, once again, here's the voice of the Flames, Alan York.
All right. Continuing on here for Mellow Mushroom on this Thursday night. A lot of great Liberty fans in the house. We're going to hear from Brylan Green, Liberty defensive back, coming up here in just a second. Another reminder, 6 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. New Mexico State is in the house. And make sure you get there early. Stop by Fan Fest with your game ticket. And make sure you get inside the stadium a little bit early to see the pregame band under Dr. Larry Sipe. They do a phenomenal job getting the fans all excited. And here's another request. When the game's over, don't leave that alma mater. I'm going to say it pretty much every show until we get like 25,000 people to stay and sway back and forth for the alma mater. So they work really hard, and they're doing a great job here through game one. All right, coming up in a little bit, we'll also hear more from head coach Jamey Chadwell as he is previewing Liberty's game with New Mexico State. And for those out there watching our video stream on our Facebook page, if you have a question, you can submit it, and we'll see if we can't sneak a question or two coming up towards the end of the show. And also a couple more coins, commemorative coins. Conference USA inaugural game coming up on Saturday, both for New Mexico State and for Liberty. First 3,000 fans through the gates will get a coin. We've got 3 more left in the building, and I know one we're going to give away in our next segment. Fan does want to ask another question, so we've got 2 more coins to give away for fans in Mellow Mushroom if you have a question for head coach Jamey Chadwell. All right, time now to hear from Brylan Green, the sophomore from Opelousas, Louisiana. That is about 30 miles west of Baton Rouge. And Bryland's in his second season with the team. Had 1 of 5 interceptions on Saturday. And he's going to be our pregame player profile with Nick Pierce. We will run this on Saturday as well. And for those listening here tonight, here's a sneak peek with Nick and defensive back Bryland Green.
It's a lot of excitement, man, just to be able to join this conference, make a name for ourselves, and especially against a good opponent. New Mexico State, it should be a good one for the first one.
Made a good play last week on that interception, going up and high pointing that ball. Then you came down and hit your back hard. Take me back to that. I mean, how much focus does it take to stay through that and complete that thing?
Yeah, it took a lot of focus. I didn't realize how high I got up whenever I had jumped. So, shoot, they told me I fell from a second floor. So, it was a nice experience, man, for my first pick. I saw the quarterback. They did a play-action play. I know I was a deep safety in that play. And then when I saw the ball, it was just go get it at that point.
Then we all know about the turnover mask, the Joker mask after that. You get to put that on, sign the ball. But where do those balls go?
That's a great question. I'm still trying to figure out where that goes. I guess they just keep them in the bag and then we just wait for next week. But, that's pretty fun to see the Joker mask and all that.
Yeah, that thing needs to go on your mantle somewhere. Flame safety Bryland Green with us here on the Flames Football Tailgate Show powered by Segra. This team does love celebrating, though. We saw that in the locker room after the ball game. The burned chicken, falcon, whatever you want to call it. What's that joy of winning like, and how much more celebrating can this team do?
Man, we could do a lot of celebrating. I think it just depends on how we do. The energy this year is crazy with the new coaching staff. They bring so much energy, so much love, and I think you can see that on the field as well with the players. I think we just all coming together and playing for one.
Punt returns as well. I talked to Coach Krantz about that. He said that your baseball background kind of played into that. How much does that help?
Oh, it helps a lot. I've been getting that a lot as well as in high school. I didn't really do too much punt returning, but I think, trusting my abilities that I've done on the baseball field, and I think it carries over, so it was a smooth transition.
Looking to go back to the baseball field again here this spring?
Of course, always, of course. That's my love.
How much enjoyment did you get out of that this past spring, and how challenging is it to play both?
Oh, man, I loved it. Getting around new guys, at first it was kind of, a little odd, but, grew with the guys. Man, and I love both of them, bro. If I could do it for as long as I can, I will. The transition from football to baseball, at first it was a little hard because this is my first time doing it at the college level. But once I got into the, baseball and we figured everything out from both coaching staffs, it was a smooth transition.
Flame safety Bryland Green with us here. The New Mexico State game coming up here tonight. Kobe Singleton said it earlier this week. He said it's personal for him. You guys gave up 49 points in that game last year. Is it personal to you? Is it personal to this defense?
Yes, sir. I mean, anytime you lose by that much, I think you feel something going into that game. But I think if we just trust in our abilities and do what we got to do, at the end of the day, it is a whole new team. Like, they're going to see a whole different team. So, just trying to get those guys to, do our 111, and then if we do our 111, we should get the results that we should.
Do what you got to do. Is that 5 takeaways here again tonight?
We'll see. Hopefully we can get them, but, get as many turnovers as we can so that we can get this offense going.
Last couple thoughts here, Bryland. What makes Diego Pavia such a tough quarterback? I mean, he accounted for 6 touchdowns against you guys last year.
Yeah, man. He's a very shifty guy, man. For a quarterback, obviously everybody knows about his legs, but him as a thrower, he can definitely hurt us in a passing game, and especially with the receivers that he has, all the weapons that he has. Man, this offense can go. So we're up for the challenge.
Last thing here, Bryland Green. First game under the lights as well. How much do you enjoy playing night games at Williams Stadium?
I love it, man. The fans go crazy, especially I like the little thing at the beginning of the fourth quarter when everybody put the flashes on, man. Hopefully, we get the same amount of people at the games as we normally do. And if we do, man, they going to make it a show. They're going to make it a show.
And that is Bryland Green, Liberty defensive back, 1 of 5 interceptions on Saturday against Bowling Green. Again, coming up, Liberty, New Mexico State, Saturday night at 6 o'clock. And just make it a day of it. Just get up early, go get your tailgate stuff, bring it, and let's just enjoy all day on the mountain and beat the Aggies coming up on Saturday. We'll take another timeout when we come back. We got about 20 minutes left of our weekly radio show presented by Freedom First Credit Union. And we'll have Coach Chadwell rejoin us, and we'll focus in on the Aggies of New Mexico State under head coach Jerry Kill. Stay tuned. We got more of a weekly radio show coming up from Mellow Mushroom in Lynchburg. This is Liberty Football from Van Wagner.
What's important isn't that Freedom First has been in business since 1956. What's important is how we've been doing business since 1956. Since day one, we have been accountable to our members, not stockholders. We make loans that cost less, offer savings plans that pay more, and give back to our community, and that hasn't changed. What has changed is our ability to serve you with more locations and more technology to simplify your financial life. Freedom First. It's a place where anyone in our region can bank for good.
Everybody says they want to do it, but how many people ever really change the world? GenSend shows students just like you how to live life on mission. GenSend offers real-life ministry opportunities in cities all across North America. Work alongside believers who are really changing the world. Spend your school break on mission and learn how to be a champion for Christ. Go to gensend.org to learn more.
You're listening to the Liberty Flames Football Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
Turn up the heat. Foster Fuels is a proud partner of Liberty Athletics. Fostering warm moments for 100 years, Foster has been providing exceptional propane and gas services throughout Central Virginia and surrounding areas. From propane to fireplaces and tank installs to tankless water heaters, Foster does it all. Visit fosterfuels.com or download the app to order fuel, pay your bill, and more. Get the customer service you deserve and turn up the heat with Foster Fuels in the Liberty Flames.
Earthlight Mid-Atlantic, your trusted solar and energy efficiency experts. With a focus on honesty, education, and excellence, they light the way to savings, home comfort, and a greener future. Educating homeowners about the power of solar and energy efficiency is their winning game plan. Give Earthright Mid-Atlantic a call today at 434-200-9716 or visit erepower.com.
Welcome back to the Liberty Flames Football Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. Have a question or comment for one of our guests? Email lfsn@liberty.edu or post a message at LFSN Radio on X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, once again, here's the voice of the Flames, Alan York.
We're hitting the three-quarter turn on our football show, and I guess entering the fourth quarter, if you will. Joined by head coach Jamey Chadwell, Liberty, New Mexico State. Kickoff 6 o'clock at the Bill Williams Stadium on Saturday. All right, Coach, you mentioned in your media session earlier this week that the word of the week is authentic. Last week you had another word, so this week being authentic. Tell our fans about what that is for this particular week.
Yeah, last week was trust, and we talked about trusting each other, trusting your coaches, trusting the scheme, trusting the culture. And so building off of that is, what showed up last week. Are we going to be authentic to that? Are we going to be true to that? Or are we going to go do something else? And if you're authentic, that means you're genuine, you're bona fide. And what we've talked about leading up to last week and since we got here is the culture that we're building, what we're about, who we want to be. And that has to show up all the time no matter what the circumstances are. And so we want to be authentic to that. And is our theme for the week.
How about your quarterback? You mentioned Caden Salter, QB1. Tell us from your eyes the job that he did. And he talked post-game, Coach, about diving into being a better quarterback in the offseason. And athletic talent can only take you so far, but there's other things you can do to make yourself better. What you see from Caden?
Yeah, we were pleased with him. I thought, he did make some mistakes. There's some things he missed, but he recognized those, and he's working to obviously correct those. But he took care of the ball, managed it, got the ball where we needed to be. I thought he managed the clock well. You always worry about play clocks and all those different things. And, he did a nice job with that. And he scrambled well, made some big plays when we needed to. There's a lot of room of improvement. His challenge is continuing to be hungry, to want to be at best. Don't be satisfied with, what he did. Continue to grow and say, hey, I can do so much better, and have that mindset. And I think if he does that, the sky's the limit for him, because we all know he has great talent. And if he can match that talent with the preparation and the hungriness that you have to be a high-level quarterback, And then he's going to continue to get better if he does that. And that's the goal for him each and every week is no matter what happens, we talk about flushing it, good or bad, flush things. And don't think you've arrived, because as soon as you arrive or think you've arrived, this game will humble you quick. And he's got to continue to grow through that. This will be, for us, it's a learning process with him. We know what he is. Now, okay, he had some success. How does he respond to that success as a team, but also as an individual? But pleased with where he was at. He'll continue to grow, and we know he can do so much more, and we know it's going to get harder too because people get more video on him. They're going to do things to try to take that away.
The cat and mouse game, that is football. Was there a scheme or a particular facet of your team that you wanted to see, or how it developed in a game against somebody else versus what you saw in camp? Was there something that I can't wait for us to see somebody else to see how we work our way through a particular phase?
Well, I think you look at two things. One, as you game plan, do you think on all three phases, do you think you had did you do a good job game planning and knowing what they were going to do and have I'm not saying a schematic advantage, but were they what you thought they were? And I thought our coaches on all three phases did a nice job of having a plan and sticking to it and being ready for what they did. I think the thing that I always look for from a conditioning standpoint, hot early in the season, is your strength condition, your nutrition. Is that working? Or are we out there? Were we the fresher team? Were we the more in condition team? And I think wholeheartedly that was a yes. Mm-hmm. When it got tight there in the fourth quarter and all that, we were still fresh. Yep. We were still there. We were still running around. And that's what pays dividends long term. You're going to get used to game type speed and all that. And obviously next week will be better than the first week as far as understanding the emotions and all those things. But we were ready for that. And I think that where the credit goes to our nutrition, it goes to our strength condition, everybody in that program, because we were in shape. We were ready for that. And that's as a coach more than anything. I don't want to ever come out of a game and saying, hey, we weren't in shape. And we might have not played well, but by golly, we're going to be in shape, and we're not going to be able to quit in the third quarter because we don't have enough in the tank. And so I was pleased with that.
Joined by head coach Jamey Chadwell, our weekly radio show presented by Freedom First Credit Union. We still have a couple more inaugural Conference USA coins. Paul in the back had a question, and we're going to bring Paul Boyce up, big Liberty fan. Let's give Paul a round of applause. All right. Stand behind the speaker so we don't blow the place out here, Paul. What's your question for Coach?
I don't know how much you really even care about it, but uniforms are always a thing that pops up on the X family that we always talk about. Some people love powder blue. Some people hate powder blue. I know you hate it, Kathy. Some people want a logo more like when we had the Flaming Eagle head on the helmet. Is that anything that you care about or are looking at?
Well, I think you're always trying to improve what you have. You're always trying to improve your brand. Part of that is what you wear, whether that's travel outfits, whether that's uniforms, whether that's any other type of gear. And so you're always trying to be unique. You're always trying to stick to tradition sometimes. And so those are things that down the line, will we get new uniforms? Yes. Will there be potential other colors? Yes. Is that my number one priority right now? No. And so once we get through this, do we need to improve certain things? And if that's part of it, then we'll do everything we can, because players, you ask them to do a lot. You ask them to give up a lot, sacrifice a lot for a short window, and so you want them to feel great about what they have and all those things. So we'll always try to improve those things. And if that's a powder blue down the line, maybe it's a powder blue down the line. If that's bringing back the green and gold from 1970s, maybe it's a green and gold, right? But my point is, when that time comes, we'll figure that out. But that's not been a priority right now.
All right, get your coin there.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the coin, and thank you for the question. I like the red look the other day, top to bottom. That was sharp coming out of the gates with the helmet and the jersey, the pants, the breeches. I really like that look.
It looked good. That's obviously the captains picked that, and I don't know what we wear. I mean, as far as I don't know what looks good, what doesn't. I don't get into that. But I want them to, that way if somebody, why are we wearing this? Well, your own guy picked it, not me. So talk to him.
A lot of the fans too, Jamey, enjoyed the turnover celebration with the Joker mask, and we're getting a round of applause from some of the fans. And I understand that was not decided until maybe 48 hours before Saturday.
Yeah, and so, I think, our strength coaches, give them credit again. And they do a tremendous job for us in a lot of ways, but they were tasked with, hey, turnover-wise, what do we need to do? And then our strength coaches, led by Coach Chad Scott, said, hey, let's pay homage to, the Jokers. What would be unique for us? I think anytime you do something, you want it to be unique for you. And if you talk with him, he didn't even know it was going to show up. It showed up Friday at whatever time. And so, all right, we're going to use it. And the team, and nobody really knew what it was. And as soon as they run over there, hey, put this on. And they've never practiced it, anything like that. And it obviously went huge on social media. And that's sort of how it works, right? But that's unique to us. And if you're a fan of us, you know what that represents. And it's awesome. I mean, I don't think anybody knew we'd have 5 turnovers, and so we'll probably I think the CDC called us and told us to check our COVID on it because we had 5 guys put it on, and so I'm sure we'll have to have a mask on it next week. But it was an awesome deal.
I want to talk special teams for just a second here, Jamey. We mentioned Tegan Linderink at the beginning of the broadcast. Had a couple of big field goals. Did have one block. What did you see on the blocking? Was the operation not 100%? Because I know that wasn't addressed in your media session, but something that you want to look forward to doing, at least the operation, maybe different next week.
Yeah, no, I think you always look at your operation times. Our operation times were good as far as the snap to the kick. It came out low. That's part of it. And also, we didn't do a good job blocking. And you got a block up there as well. So we didn't do a great job blocking. Too much penetration, too low of a kick. And then it turns into 7 points the other way, and we didn't execute all the way around in that. And so, as you look at that, I think there's you look at special teams, and I think we won the special teams battle overall because we returned the ball well, we pinned them back. But if you look at the momentum swinging plays, we kick the ball, we go up 24-0 with like 3 minutes to go or whatever. We kick the ball out of bounds. Yep. They get the ball at the 35, they go score. Completely changes momentum. We get the ball back. Have a chance to score, have to settle for a field goal there at the end of the half, but you're going to go up, it should be a chip shot. You're up 20 points at halftime. You're feeling good. Mess that up. And so the whole game turned on really 2 kicks and made that game, closer than it needed to be. And so for the good we did, there were some fundamental things that we just need to do better. And fundamentally, it's playing lower. It's kicking the ball higher. Fundamentally, not trying to over-kick the ball and kick it out of bounds. Our Max Morgan did a fantastic job punting and kicking off for us. He gets amped up. He wants to kick it in the end zone, and tries to do too much. And then he gives a souvenir to the Jokers there and the lunatics in the corner. So those are things that we can control. We got to get better at.
Coach, you may or may not realize teams that you have coached are 28-0 when leading after the third quarter. Finishing a game in the fourth quarter. College football games, all coaches say, are not easy to win. But having that mindset that we're going to finish in that fourth quarter, what did you see from your team on Saturday, and how have you built that toughness late in games throughout your career?
Well, that's a great stat. I didn't know that. I would have made one up. That's pretty good right there. That mantra, that strike to stone that you so eloquently say when we score big plays, which I love. I think it's something you need to do all the time. That has to mean something. And the point of that is, no matter what circumstances are, we're not focused on the scoreboard. We're focused on what's the process we need to do to get the result. And our whole offseason program, the Flamed Quarter, is built on finishing and just that mindset and that mantra. And I think if you train for that and you get in those tight windows, hopefully that training comes back that hey, we've been here, we've pushed through this, we can push through those things. And that's the whole premise of your program and what you're trying to build. I don't, hopefully if we put ourselves in those situations in the fourth quarter, then we can finish those. And because you've worked so hard for 3, don't let it slip in the fourth. And that's our off season. That's our program. That strike the stone. That whole mantra is about that.
Offensive line wise, you had a pretty good rotation in on Saturday. Break down those guys who kind of impressed you and what you look to get out of that group coming up this weekend.
Well, we mentioned Jordan. I thought Jordan for his first time, snapping and in the center did a fantastic job. obviously Xavier's experienced, and he did a good job. I think the thing with Xavier that people don't realize, you got Xavier Gray beside him, you got Jordan White at center, 2 new guys that he hadn't worked with.
Yeah.
He did a fantastic job of helping those guys there. John Graham over there helping Chase Mitchell at left tackle. Jack Tucker came in and gave us some good snaps. I think Jack has put himself in position to be in a part of rotation where you might see us rotating those guys through. And so they worked well together. They looked like, even though really only 2 of them have ever played together, and not tons.
Right.
They looked like they were gelled, which was good. And we need more of a rotation. You need to be able to play 6 or 7 to keep those guys fresh. And if anything happens, and we mentioned we have 2 freshmen behind them. We don't want to play those freshmen. We're trying to win now, but also build for the future. So maybe those guys could have got in, but we're trying to hold them. And hopefully we won't have to use them, but they put themselves in position if they need to play. But I think we rushed for 250 or 2-something, take sacks away, which is a good start, but those guys are hungry. They want 300, and so that's the mentality there. And I thought they did a nice job for us of wearing down our opponent.
All right, Jamey, let's look at the Aggies of New Mexico State. They're 1-1. They're coming off a big win over Western Illinois, 58-21. And they played UMass, who Liberty will see later on this year. Just your first thoughts on the Aggies and what you might be up against on Saturday.
Well, I think the first thing that stands out, they're averaging 44 points a game.
Right.
So they're scoring points. Their quarterback, Diego, I'm going to call him Diego Football because he's really good at creating havoc. He's the key. We have to stop him. We got to play sound football because they run some similar stuff to us. We got to be able to play sound, but we got to make him beat us from the pocket. He's really good, and that's going to be a big challenge there. And then defensively, they lead the country in pressures. They do a great job of pressures. Their defensive coordinator, when they got there, I think they were like 110th in total defense, and I think last year they finished like 25th or 26th, somewhere around in that area. So he's improved them tremendously because the effort they play with, and he gives so many different looks. They're very aggressive, and if we're not sound, we can cut somebody free, and that's when turnovers happen. And so it presents a big challenge for us. Obviously, they know a lot about us. We don't know that much about them. They've been to here, they've been to Liberty, and they walked in this place and came out with a huge victory. And so they're not going to come in here intimidated whatsoever. They're going to come here with a lot of confidence. And so it's a huge challenge. It's our first one. It's a history game, right? It's first time ever of a conference, and then first time to have the opportunity to win a game. So there's a lot for us playing for this game. Most importantly, to be 1-0. That's the ultimate goal in our league. I told our team, we got a ladder that we're climbing in this conference, and you've got eight steps to get to the conference championship game, and you can't get to number 2 without going through number 1. And so this is an important game for us, most important one we've ever played because it's our next one, and our team has to approach it that way.
And it's the first night game of the season. I know Liberty fans love the night games. I love the night games, and it just seems like there's extra juice in the stadium when it comes to night games.
Yeah, I think everybody likes the night games except coaches. Coaches cannot stand night games. We'd rather play at 10 a.m. if that's possible. But I know our students will be excited for it. It's from everything that I've been told, it's a special atmosphere here at night, and we're looking forward to that. Our coaching staff is. If it's anything like last week, we can't wait to see it. And we're going to need everybody out there and stay loud and wear and be loud because we're going to need all that help.
Before we let you go, a little crowd response here. When you say Flames, they say what, Coach?
Flames. Flames. Flames.
One more.
Flames.
There we go. All right, Coach. Appreciate the time here today. Let's get.
Oh, he's got one question.
Okay,
right,
let's bring up Jamison up here. I think you know him very well, Coach. What you got?
I hear you have the best chief of staff in the country. Tell us about Brad Queen.
Brad Queen.
Oh, well, Brad was the best chief of staff in the country, but I had to let him go because he's not handling his business. He's out here tonight. He's out here tonight with his beautiful wife, Clorinda, and his 2 beautiful daughters, and he should be working. So, but Brad's been with me a long time, and I couldn't do anything without Brad. If something's going on, I call him, and he's been tremendous for our success. And he makes sure our players park in the right places. That's his number 1 goal, and he does a fantastic job of that.
All right, shout out to Brad Queen in the back. Does a lot of things for Liberty football, and really enjoyed getting to know Brad and his family throughout fall camp and many years to come. Coach, thanks for the time here tonight. Have fun against the Aggies, and we'll be there ready to cheer you guys on Saturday.
Appreciate it. Flames.
Flames. All right, that's head coach Jamey Chadwell wrapping up our show here tonight. A great crowd at Mellow Mushroom. Thanks for coming out. We'll be here every Thursday night, 7 to 8, talking Liberty Flames football. And again, the particulars coming up on Saturday, 6 o'clock kickoff, Liberty hosting New Mexico State. Ticket information available at lufootball.com. First 3,000 fans get a inaugural Conference USA coin. And stop by the indoor facility and see all the Flames fans and the team walk and cheer the Flames on coming up on Saturday. For Coach Chadwell and Brylan Green and Nick Pierce and Jamie Hall helping us with some production, I'm Alan York. Have a great rest of your night, and go Flames.
You've been listening to the Liberty Flames Football Show on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. The Liberty Football Show is presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Start banking with Freedom First today. The Liberty Football Show was also brought to you by Carter Bank and Trust, the preferred community bank of Liberty Flames Athletics. Earthright Mid-Atlantic, your trusted solar and energy efficiency experts. By Foster Fuels, providing reliable service for 100 years. Freedom Heating and Air, serving those who serve us. Carl Miller Realty, caring, competent, trusted advisors. The North American Mission Board, learn to live your life on mission through a GenSend experience. And by Sentry Exteriors, experience and quality you can trust. Schedule a free estimate at sentryexteriors.com. The Liberty Flames Football Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union, has been an exclusive presentation of the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.